action. All right, I have chicken strips because I didn't want to deal with bones, and I have hot sauces and a squeaky chair. Yay, this isn't gonna be awkward at all. Okay, oh, this is number one. Number one. This is easy. We starting easy. Okay.
How many pairs of shorts do you own, and what's your favorite brand?
Oh, I don't know exactly how many. Also, how are you supposed to talk and eat at the same time? I'm legit hungry. A lot, more all the time. It takes up less space than you would think because I roll them up all really tight and set them in like a little bin. So basically all my shorts fit in an area about this big, but it's starting to overflow, and I counted it once. There's an old Instagram post that has the number that I had at that time, but I don't even remember what it was. Probably at least 30 though. And my favorite brand is tied between Feed Me, Fight Me because they have the best like fabric patterns, and then D Tina's Boutique because they have the best like fit. Okay. So this is the second one, which I think like I've already eaten most of these before. I swear this one is less hot than this one. But anyway, this is the tastiest, the hometown favorite, Aardvark. I'm supposed to eat it first and then you ask the question, right? So like if it's burning, it's going.
Okay, this one's gonna be rapid fire, all right? So I have a list of a bunch of like this or that.
Okay.
Okay? Bodybuilding or powerlifting?
Bodybuilding.
Barbells or dumbbells?
Barbells. Do I get to give the context or is
Yeah. Go ahead. If you want to elaborate, do it.
Bodybuilding, because I think it's more fun to build your total body, even though like powerlifting was what got me really hooked into lifting in general at this point in my life. Like bodybuilding is more all-encompassing and just kind of more fun. And then barbells or dumbbells because you can like load heavier with barbells than dumbbells. So if I was stuck with one, barbells.
Java or C++?
Oh, C++, easy. Java's disgusting. I also don't really know it.
Tabs or spaces?
Well, okay, so this whole question always confused me because it's like, if you are someone who's using tabs but it doesn't insert spaces, you're wrong. It should always insert spaces. But I'm not gonna sit there and manually type like space, space, space. So tabs of 4 spaces is generally my preferred. Light
or dark mode?
Dark mode, obviously. If you use light mode, you're insane. There's some things where sometimes if you're in a certain mood, light mode can, you know, give you a different vibe and that can be okay. But, you know, generally for work and productivity, dark mode.
Beer or whiskey?
Oh, that depends on mood. Both. I can't. If I had to have one forever, probably beer because I feel like there's more variety in the beer. Like there's sours and stouts and IPAs and, you know.
Burritos or tacos?
Oh, fuck. I love the tacos that I make, like where you fry the tortilla shells and everything. But burritos are great. Tacos. Because you can have more variety. Because you can't have them crispy or you can have them soft and they're all still tacos.
Okay, next one.
Next one, okay. So I'm obviously pretty almost out of this guy. I guess he tastes good. Some of these I think I'm gonna need like a
spoon,
a chopstick to get it out. Well, okay, whatever. I guess I'm getting a ginormous chunk. Good thing this is only sauce number 3. We'll be fine.
Name the top 5 things you would take with you during a zombie outbreak.
My literal first thought, ice cream. Because my plan in the zombie outbreak is I'm gonna go die in a walk-in freezer eating ice cream. I don't care about surviving. the apocalypse. But let's say I'm going to temporarily try to survive. Maybe they're like easy OG Night of the Living Dead zombies. Because those ones, manageable. It is an apocalypse that we can survive and be fine with. So, God, I don't have anything useful. I guess the biggest knife in my house. Oh, maybe I have like a hatchet. And I also have like some like sledgehammery boy. So maybe like those two, and then good shoes and layers, like a coat. I don't know what the weather is, so depending on the weather. What was that? So, okay, I'd pick out a weapon. Probably would be whatever's closest to me, assuming I had to like leave immediately. Good shoes, good coat, whatever. I'd probably grab food. Like I'd grab a box of protein bars because I have some on the way, quickly on the way out. And then I'd take Ubi with me. I don't know.
Okay, next one.
Okay, so this one I have too because this one's almost out and I didn't know if I was gonna get enough out because obviously this one's really tasty. And I guess I'll see since it's side by side if it really is. Like this one, okay, it definitely did feel hotter than the other two. So maybe Aardvark is less hot than I remember, but I swear thinking this was mild AF. Oops. And liquidy.
You've recently shown on Twitch and Instagram that you're learning to play the cello. What other hobbies or passions do you have that your stream audience might not know about?
Oh man, I've gone through so many. I like learning things and then apparently getting to a super mediocre level and then I want to learn something else. So there was lockpicking, knitting, sewing. I have a spinning wheel, so I even went through making the whole yarn phase. Like a lot of crafts. I have a craft room, so there's like fabric and things. Like I made jewelry, like Viking knitted bracelets, photography, like film photography with like old expired film and like medium format, like Holga, you know, the super hipster shit, making beer, making hard cider, gardening, but actually being serious and good about it and not neglecting the crap out of it, canning the things that came from my gardening, baking, like cooking in general. I used to do a lot more of that. I even painted, though I suck at art. That's all I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, next one.
This one is one of our other favorites for taste. It's Ubi's favorite.
When you're not streaming, who are your favorite streamers? Any particular individuals or categories of interest?
Well, right now, my number one watch streamer would be Schnaff, who I love because he plays classical guitar, which I love, but is also a smart person and an interesting person. All around, I just enjoy watching him do whatever. But generally, like throughout my whole Twitch history, I watch the people. If there's something that I'm interested in, I'll watch people I can learn from. So I originally watched people play League of Legends to get better at League of Legends. I used to watch Hearthstone streamers a lot when I was into that. So right now I'm watching mostly musical streamers because I've been into the cello, but then lately, keyboard building streamers because I want to build keyboards. And so it's like my latest little hobby bug thing that has bitten me. Don't look at him when I'm done talking. Look at the camera when I'm done talking. So far, this is all easy peasy. I know people have tapped out like way early. That's insane. I also feel like I could eat more because I'm really hungry. I just poured a whole bunch.
All right. What is your weirdest or most memorable moment on Twitch?
It was very creepy. There was one time somebody went super out of their way to dox me, where they started messaging my actual home address to a whole bunch of people, basically anyone in my Discord, anyone currently in my stream. They were DMing them on Twitch, which that wasn't super creepy. They did actually have one of my old passwords that I didn't use for anything serious, but I had to go change that because they sent it to everybody. But the weirdest part about the whole thing was they started calling me with a voice changer, and they were calling my phone from like my mom's old house phone number. So I was like, what the hell? How do you even like spoof that? The thing's like disconnected, and I don't know, it was pretty creepy. And then I was sort of like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? You know, I made sure that I changed the password and that nothing could really happen, but it's like, what am I supposed to do? So I think I didn't react that dramatically. Like, I addressed it a little bit, I answered the phone, and I was just like, okay, whatever. But I think I was too boring, so they actually kind of moved on really quickly, and it ended up not being that big of a deal. But I think that's like the weirdest experience I've had. Next one. Now we're starting to get to serious business, where it might be a mistake to just pour it on, but I'm doing it anyway.
Tell us about your journey, why you started streaming, and how it eventually led to you becoming a fitness streamer with a fairly significant part-time coaching commitment.
None of it was ever intentional. I started streaming just because I was kind of lonely and wanted some more friends to play League of Legends with. And I did that for years. And I had my small ass audience of, 10 regulars at the peak here and there. And when I started getting more and more into my fitness, just because I was enjoying like lifting, I was getting into powerlifting, and it was becoming my new favorite hobby, I couldn't manage the time commitment that I needed to keep up my pathetic League of Legends skills up enough while also lifting. So I basically ended up quitting it completely, focused on lifting, and I was like, well, I'm used to streaming now, I guess I'll just stream what I'm doing this time instead. I never really thought anybody else besides my normal regulars were gonna watch me, but I was one of the very first people to do it. Plus then people could see my butt, so I guess that, made people click on me more than usual, not just being another person in the League of Legends category. And so as I got more and more into that, and I upped my skills in lifting and my knowledge in lifting, people started asking me for advice more and more, and then people wanted to actually hire me for my advice. So it was just basically peer pressure for how I even started the coaching thing. And then once I kind of went in with it, I usually like go all in with things. And so that is how we are here. Okay, Eye of the Scorpion. Okay, I need a chopstick for this one.
Let's talk about your approach to online coaching. While you do have some aspiring elite powerlifters, most of your clients and athletes are not elite, and most of them have goals somewhere along the lines of just getting fit. What is your approach, and how does it differ from prescribing something that's straight CrossFit or powerlifting style training?
Well, I think one thing is a lot of people think any of those kinds of training of like powerlifting, bodybuilding, CrossFit, or whatever are going to be super different. Even, CrossFit, which has more of a cardio focus and Olympic lifting focus, can still have a base of similar exercises. But basically, I think about it more of like trying to keep people healthy. So I include a lot of stuff that is like kind of prehab or rehab if somebody has something nagging them, or things that are going to help get their movement to be a better quality and more like stable and athletic. And so it depends on each person, but that's kind of like the foundation it builds from. And then as far as like, well, what do they actually want to get good at? Since in a lot of those cases it's just generally look good and feel good, I just try to keep it all well-rounded, hit, the most muscles possible at a frequency that makes sense for the muscles. And also like keeping people entertained and doing the things they like and not having to do too much of the things that they hate. Like a lot of it is just working with someone to help them figure out what works for them, which it can include just things like preference. It doesn't have to even be the most optimal thing ever. Just, you know, it depends. Widowmaker.
They're handling these pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I can feel them, but I'm only really afraid of the last one.
Whether you'll admit it or not, you're not an unimportant person in the online fitness world. You routinely rub elbows with some of the biggest athletes, coaches, and personalities, like Ed Cohn, Ben Rice, Juji and Tom, Ali Spagnola, Silent Mike, to name a few. Do you have any memorable stories about meeting someone famous?
Well, okay, now I can kind of feel it. The Ed Cohn one was pretty funny because I was with a friend and we didn't see him. We were at the Arnold and my brother was like, oh, hey, isn't that like that power lifter dude? And we were both like, wait, what? Which power lifter dude? He couldn't remember his name at first, and so he kept trying to like give us, you know, descriptors, and I can't remember what he said. But finally, when we realized who it was, we were like, wait, where? And we turned around and we basically chased him down, and we're like, okay, we love you enough to ask you for a picture. And he was really nice, kind of shy a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's about that. As far as other people, Ben was a favorite because he was someone that I watched for a long time on YouTube, and so he was like this big powerlifting personality to me, even though he was never that popular of a person. And so then when he came on Twitch and I was like, oh hey, I get to interact with him more, and we got to be friends and everything. There was this one time at TwitchCon San Jose where he was afraid of getting an Uber. Plus I think that his Airbnb mates weren't in town yet. So he had gotten to the airport really early and was just waiting around until I got to the airport, and he was like, hey, where are you at? I'm just like chilling at the airport. And I was like, well, you should, I guess, come hang out with us until your Airbnb mates come to town. And he was on like some far other terminal and couldn't find his way to us. But finally he, like after a lot of me coordinating with my aunt who was picking me up, we found him and took him home. And then my aunt, of course, fell in love with him because everybody falls in love with Ben because he's the nicest. Anyone else? Omar and Silent Mike, along with Captain Planet, were my very first powerlifting coaches a long time ago. And I saw Omar at the Arnold, and he actually remembered my name, which I thought was crazy because he meets tons of people, and I was just one of the very few people way back forever. And he was like, oh hey, Cassidy, and he gave me a hug, and it was really sweet. So he's nice. Ali is amazing because she wears mismatched shoes, and I've always been about that mismatched socks life, and I envy that, and I wish I could copy her without like copying her, but I wish I could live that life too.
Okay, so I have two more left. Do you want to do another one again, or?
I guess we might as well do them both while I'm really dying. That makes it more entertaining. See, I think this one's an extract, so it's gonna murder me, right? Apollo pepper, vinegar, pepper powder, and pepper distillate. I don't know if a distillate is the same as an extract. Extracts always taste like shit, but those are the ones that are really like gonna destroy you. Oh, it has another chunky boy at the top. Oh wait, I think it'll pour now.
So your online streaming presence has your life on camera for a few hours a day, and all you see of your viewers is a couple lines of chat on the screen. While you're incredibly active and available in your Discord community, is there anything you do to try and balance this relationship with your viewers?
Let's see how this goes. I mean, the Discord is a big part of that. That's part of why I stay really active there. I wish I was better about it. I'm not that great. I don't post to Instagram that much. My best and most revealing Instagram is Chonky Cast. Make sure to follow Chonky Cast, which I don't even run. Doing more YouTube videos if people really would care to, but like, it all depends on, I guess I answered that backwards. Like, knowing people, I mean, I talk to people if they talk to me, right? Wasn't the question was how do I balance how much they know me versus I know them? You don't. You don't balance it. You can never balance that. There's some people that I know pretty well. I've become friends with a lot of people, but there's always gonna be way more people that know way more about me than me about them. I feel like I should do another one. This isn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
All right. You're a female that's pretty successful in 2 male-dominated fields. With the partially anonymous nature of Twitch, there's no doubt you're faced with mansplaining and even worse versions of toxic masculinity every day. How do you handle that, and what would you tell other women who want to get into male-dominated fields who might be too intimidated to try?
Oh, that's a lot. Okay, I'm just hurting myself for you guys. Unfortunately, my advice would be get a thick skin and don't care, which shouldn't be the case. But the question isn't what's my advice to all the other people who are making the problem. It's the advice to the people who want to get into things. So I guess don't expect anything good, because you wouldn't want to go into something like preparing for the best and getting the worst. You can modify your environment to some extent. Like with streams, you can ban people. In a workplace, you can stand up for yourself, though it's not easy to do that, and you shouldn't have to, but it can make your long-term life better if you always set boundaries and like don't let people get away with things. It not only helps you, it will help people know not to do that to other people ever, in theory. But mostly you just have to not care and realize if somebody is being that pathetic and rude or pervy or whatever to you, that at least you're better than that one person. This is hot. I mean, like, my face is sweating. I'm still hungry, so I guess I'm gonna eat. Bonus questions. Bonus stories.
There were a lot of questions about your boyfriend.
Which isn't about me. See, I'm gonna talk about hot sauce for a second. When it gets this uncomfortable and it has that like long, slow, it's gonna keep burning, you just keep taking sips of like cold water or milk. It gives you that sense of relief. Just like if you burn your finger and you run it underwater and it like feels fine for a while, you just keep doing it slowly until it goes away, because eventually you're gonna wash it away enough. And you're fine. I've had worse. I've had extract sauces, so I've murdered myself before. I don't even have a high tolerance right now. I'm gonna eat more of this one though, just because it's really good with them. I even poured out this giant glass of milk. I was so prepared. So this is full of milk, all nice and chilled. I mean, I'll have a little just because I'm pulling it out. But like, I definitely could just stick with the water if I needed to. But that's the other thing, is like milk does help more. One time, I do love hot sauce, clearly, because I actually already owned most of these. And I had stopped eating it for a while because I was dating someone who had no tolerance. And I made myself a cheese sandwich. And I normally like dump hot sauce on the cheese sandwich. And I used an extract hot sauce because I forgot what they were like. And I ate the whole thing and I hurt my stomach so bad. I was laying in bed for like an hour being miserable. And then I realized I had ice cream in the fridge. And all I had to do was eat like half a pint of ice cream and my stomach was fixed. So another pro tip, ice cream next to milk. And then once I was chopping jalapenos and it squirted into my eyeball because it was such a juicy jalapeno that I put yogurt in my eyeball to stop the burning. That was definitely the worst thing, I think. Yeah. I'm actually already good. Like, I mean, I would probably keep drinking water just so that my nose stops being kind of runny, but how sweaty am I? Not even that sweaty, just a little sweaty. Well, that's all. How uneventful. I'm sorry that I wasn't dramatic. Everybody on that fucking show is a pussy. Except for the host, clearly.
Say bye.
Bye.